Now enjoy this fun photo collage of some of your favorite stars and politicians who speak about the need to reduce our carbon footprint, but who are always on private planes. That's right, all of them. If you don't see a celebrity's picture here, it's because we weren't allowed to use it. Or their series got canceled.
Emma just revealed your favorite Hollywood celeb's hypocrisy, and it was funny. 1,000 times, I've stated it. Put your trust in these woke celebs at your own risk. Even the devil would blush at the degree of double standards they cling to. Emma ruthlessly decimated all of them, from Bernie Sanders' rich morals to George Clooney's performative politics. It was also, quite frankly, long overdue. Let's start the massacre.
These are not good people. It's just not in us, including me. And I'm tired of living well, not a lie, but it's also something I never mention, but it's a new year, and I'd like to come clean. My name is Bill. And I fly private. And so does every other person who calls themselves an environmentalist who...
Emma began by noting that he is an ardent proponent of environmental protection. He flies private. Though, yes, we are speaking to that form of green hypocrisy. And that summarizes these egotistical celebrities nicely. While amassing more flying miles in a presidential campaign, they enjoy lecturing people about carbon footprints. They have the newest climate studies committed to memory like a script, along with all the right slogans and popular buzzwords. But when the time comes to genuinely live by those ideals, keep quiet. It is the epitome of performative activism. Virtue signaling wants praise rather than effect. For once, Emma called them out for what they deserve.
Enjoy this fun photo collage of some of your favorite stars and politicians who speak about the need to reduce our carbon footprint, but who are always on private planes. That's right, all of them. If you don't see a celebrity's picture here, it's because we weren't allowed to use it. Or their series got canceled.
That's precisely why, aside from their on-screen identities, I don't think these guys are real. To promote their supposed Save the Planet campaigns, the majority of these celebrities make vast salaries. It's not belief, it's branding. Please, even those who swear they are doing it for free. They are only upgrading their appearance, seeking to appear decent and altruistic while leading luxurious lives. It's not about safeguarding the environment. Their reputation needs to be safeguarded. The expensive autos, mansions, and private planes are all justified under the pretext of awareness. And did you manage to get a glimpse of Bernie Sanders? Suddenly, the man of the masses appeared quite at ease among the Hollywood elite.
Environmentalists of Hollywood and Washington do it. Their position on climate change is, we must do more to stop pouring carbon into the air, except for me when I want to go somewhere and then I take a...
It's noteworthy to note that the bulk of the celebrity MR lambasted are the same ones that immediately welcomed the opportunity to boost Clark Harris' campaign or loudly express their unshakable support for her. These people are passionate Democrats. Additionally, safeguarding the environment is consistently at the top of the Democratic policy agenda. They have been lecturing everyone else on how to live greener lives on award show platforms, the red carpet, and social media feeds for the past 20 years. But what has truly been accomplished after all that talk? Nothing important. The weather has not gotten any better. Emissions are still the same. Additionally, they have bigger carbon footprints than before. Why? Because it's all self-serving speeches, public relations tricks, and performance. They want accolades, not responsibility. They support causes they hardly comprehend, then mindlessly go back to their gas-guzzling habits.
There is one thing in this world that is completely impossible to resist, and this is it. It's like heroin. If you do it once, you'll never stop. There are two kinds of people in the world, those who fly private and those who would if they could.
Hey, Bill Maher is merely being real. To be honest, I concur with him. I would definitely fly private if I ever got the chance. Who wouldn't? It saves you from the inconveniences of commercial travel and is quick and straightforward. No long security lines, no delayed boarding, no tight seats with insufficient legroom, and most definitely no cardboard tasting, mushy in-flight meals. Commercial flying is no longer an experience, but rather an endurance test. Contrarily, flying private combines comfort, privacy, calm, and utter bliss. You create your own arrangements, take pauses, and actually enjoy the vacation rather than just getting by. I understand. Then, the point of Mars is not that private aviation is bad. The real hypocrisy is in the way you act while professing moral superiority.
Third category, those who could but do not, does not exist. Except for Ed Begley and Greta Thunberg. And that's why you never see a picture of her smiling. Ed and Greta, that's who walks the walk. Everyone else is full of and I'm done being.
Now, I have a lot of misgivings about Greta Thunberg. She appears more performative than passionate. To be honest, she seems to be practicing her activism, making it seem almost artificial. However, I do agree with Emma on this subject, so credit where credit is due. At least Greta does what she talks about, unlike the Hollywood elites who jet around the world in luxurious planes and shout about rescuing the Earth. She literally embraces what she talks about. She continuously sends a message, whether she decides to travel by rail or sail across the Atlantic to avoid flying, something many ecologically oriented celebrities are unable to do for themselves. Despite having the means to purchase comfort and convenience, she opts for the more difficult and hard path. Therefore, whether you like her or not, Greta at least has the guts to live up to the same environmental standards that she requires of everyone else.
I take being a bad environmentalist because almost all of us are, but I can't take being a hypocrite. Now, I always justified renting a plane because I only used it for work and literally could not get to most of my stand-up gigs on time any other way. How do you think I did it all those years? I said goodnight here at 8 p.m. and was on stage in Vegas at 10. But I don't need to do stand-up, like tomorrow night in Albuquerque.
Regretfully, the Democratic Party has turned into just that, a masterclass in hypocrisy and wokeness. They adore disseminating high ideals and posing as America's moral compass. But it's all smoke and mirrors behind the curtain. To earn political points or admiration from the media and Hollywood, they will battle tenaciously for issues they don't actually support. Conviction isn't as important now. It has to do with optics. Each and every remark must be faultless. Every term was picked with care to prevent insulting anyone. They avoid any trouble out of fear of being deemed problematic or insensitive. Additionally, they have lost all their authenticity due to their concern with being politically correct. They represent whatever happens to be popular rather than something authentic. A slogan-driven party that lacks substance.
If heads of state, almost everyone else could fly commercial. Why don't they? Ask anyone who tried to get home for Christmas last year. And don't tell me the younger generation is better. They're not. They're just poorer. They're actually worse. This is who they look up to. The family where everyone has their own private jet. And kids love Bitcoin, which, to determine the value of, takes an amount of computer processing that uses more electricity than some whole countries. Kids could have rejected that, but they didn't. They love it. Why? Because they want to be rich. Why?
Maher didn't hold back when he moved his focus to the younger members of the Democratic Party. He noted that these young Democrats, who have attended innumerable climate conventions, signed innumerable memoranda, and participated in every demonstration they could find, are merely repeating the mistakes of their ancestors, even though they are the most educated bunch in history on environmental matters. However, their professed excitement for conserving the environment isn't founded on moral conviction, as Maher pointed out in a hilarious manner. It has its roots in the situation. They are broke, thus they care. Being ecologically conscientious is simple if you can't afford a private jet or a mansion with 12 air conditioners. Martian honesty was bad. They would be as, if not worse, if you gave this generation the wealth and luxury of the elites they loathe. He remarked that their commitment might simply be poverty disguised as goodness.
Resist it. John Kerry is our climate czar, and he uses a private jet. People take jets to environmental conferences. If you could run TED Talks on hypocrisy, you wouldn't need coal.
Yes, MR continued to assault the DNC with truth bombs, and that was a powerful blow. The man designated as a U.S. presidential envoy for climate change, John Kerry, was seen on a private jet. No, this did not occur previous to his appointment. It came after. It's worse because of that. While traveling in a gas-guzzling private jet, you cannot claim to be in the forefront of the worldwide campaign against climate change. Your credibility is absolutely shattered. Maher's reasoning was obvious. Preaching virtue while participating in immorality is impossible. The level of hypocrisy is staggering. These are the same individuals providing normal Americans advice on lowering pollution. However, they lead lives that use more fuel in a week than the majority of families do in a year. It isn't a leadership role. It's political righteousness disguised in expensive suits and hypocrisy.
I'm not sorry. I tried to do my part for the environment. I never had kids. The one thing worse for the planet than private jets. It's true, because then they have kids. I had the first generation Prius in 2001. It looked like a Tylenol gel cap. I was always handing my keys to valets who were driving a better car than me. I had the first Tesla in 2010, and honestly, both these cars sucked. The Tesla came up to about here on me. If I had a hard-on, I couldn't fit in this thing.
Thus, the remainder of Maher's diatribe became a combination of self-praising and self-awareness. Traditional March. He began complimenting himself for helping to environmental conservation, expressing with delight that he owns a Tesla and truly hoped that others would do the same. However, he conceded that the majority did not. Actually, the contrary occurred. People found more reasons to continue driving gas-powered cars as they became more aware about electric vehicles. The irony is clear in the high prices, the troublesome charging stations, the challenges with battery disposal, and the fact that fossil fuels still provide the majority of electricity. Ra conceded that the green dream hasn't truly become a movement in his normal cynical fashion. Rather, it has turned into yet another demonstration of how well-meaning intentions may backfire when the narrative of virtue signaling isn't backed by reality.
Both times I said to myself, okay, I'll take one for the team. Because I have a platform, so I'll do the right thing, and then everybody will follow. People will... Nobody followed. In 2021, 80% of new vehicles weren't electric, weren't even hybrid. They weren't even cars. They were SUVs and trucks. That's what people want. In 1973, the share of global electricity generated by coal was 38%. You know what it was 46 years later in 2019, after all the talk and all the trying? 37%. You know what percentage of plastic gets recycled? 5%. Those blue bins that are everywhere, they're not full of bottles, they're full of shit.
It's true that humans are a strange species. We love to behave as though we care, to seem righteous, and to talk about doing good. But most of us do the exact opposite when we have the opportunity to live by those values. Our predisposition to favor convenience over morality is natural. After posting hashtags about conserving the environment, we'll take the next flight for a weekend excursion. We'll travel alone in gas-guzzling SUVs after condemning pollution online. Because of this, the worldwide effort to address climate change isn't making any major progress. It's not a lack of knowledge. It's the absence of actual will. Though no one wants to change, everyone wishes change. And all the meetings, speeches, and slogans in the world will be nothing more than noise resonating through a warming planet until that hypocrisy ceases. Ultimately, Mars only projected a mirror, and the image we saw wasn't pleasant. Politicians, activists, and Hollywood all adore preaching morality but act contradictorily. The war against climate change and hypocrisy will remain nothing more than hollow discourse until individuals begin to live up to their values. With that, we conclude up the video for today. For more videos like this, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel.